So today we're going to be making a door that needs a key. And in fact, we can use this key on several doors all at once, or we can have several doors with their own keys. But we're going to show you how to do that right now. Alright, so first thing we got to do is, well, we just made our own character. So let's start off with our character. Let's see here. So we're going to go into our character that we had, and for this one, we need to make a variable. Now, I've already made this variable. Down here, it's going to be a Boolean variable, but it's going to be a little bit different because we're going to start to add in some features that we're going to need going forward. This one's going to be an array. Now, to do this, you're going to hit plus on the variable right there. For mine, I typed in key list. You could use whatever you'd like, but this is going to be a list. An array is a list of things that you're able to store in it, and it'll say whether you have it or not. Like it's saying like, hey, we have keys 1 through 3. And if you have key 2, then it'll put a little check next to it that says, yes, you've picked that up, right? Okay, so name this whatever you'd like. And then over here to the side, now normally when you have a Boolean, let's see, I'm just going to call this test Boolean so you guys can see it. Normally when you have a Boolean over here, it looks like this. It has that little bar like you see right here. For us, what we need to do to make sure we have an array of this, we're going to go in here and we need to select the button and click on this little 9x9 grid. That'll make it an array. And then we also need to make it instance editable because we need to be able to add in a value, say like this key goes with this door, okay? And if those keys match up and everything, then we should be able to open the door. And this is where we're going to save it. We're going to save it on our player. So this is the only important part we really need to do for our player character at this point. So we're in pretty good shape. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one because we don't need it. I'm just going to keep my key list right here. Okay. And then let's just start building the rest of our stuff. So first thing we need to do is we'll need to make a key. Okay, so let's make a blueprint. We're going to right click on our content browser. We're going to go to blueprint class. We're going to make an actor. And let's see, that actor is down here. Let's call this BP door key. I know, it's all door key. And we're going to double click in here. The door key is going to need a static mesh because we need something to represent that thing in the world so we can see it. And then we're also going to, might as well just call that key. It's going to be a key. There we go. And then we're going to need something to collide with so we can pick it up. So we know we're going to pick it up. I'm going to use a sphere collision this time. We use that box collision all the time. I'm going to change it up a little bit. And I don't want, it doesn't really matter if these are together because I don't need this thing to sweep out like a door or something like that. So the relation isn't necessarily that important here. I am going to add in some rotating movement so you can tell, like usually if you see something rotating in a space in a video game, you know, hey, I think I can pick that up, or I need to pick that up, or I need to go over there and check that out. So we're going to add a little rotating movement. And then for my key, let's see, let's go over here. I'm going to grab a key. If you have the polygon prototype assets in here already, then you already have a key to work with. And let's see, I'm going to pick that sphere up a little bit. There we go. And I might even make that just a tiny bit bigger just so we can pick it up just as we walk to it. All right, let's compile that. And we need to go to, let's see, I want a different color on this one. So let's go into the prototype setup here and see if we can get a different color. This one might have already been mapped to a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, looks like it is. So I'm just going to go for green. Let's see what we can find there. Yep, there's a green key. All right, and let's see. Everything looks pretty good there. If we want to see what this looks like, and you want to see how the rotating movement works and everything, you can go up here to simulation, and you'll be able to see it spin. Okay, turn that off. Now let's go into our code. So for our code, the main thing we need here is something that is going to tell us that we're picking it up. Okay, and when we do that, we are going to need to have just something that says we've overlapped this thing, right? So we're going to go to our sphere here. We're going to do begin overlap. Oh, there we go. I keep trying to type this thing in leet. Again, overlap. There we are. That's for our sphere. And we want to cast to our character. Make sure that only we're able to pick it up. Cast to BP underscore my character. There we go. And let's see. Yep, other actor hooked into that object. Now, one more thing we need to do. Let's see here. With this one, this time we're actually going to pull something off of the BP character. Now, one thing we can do with casting is we can actually request information from that object, from that actor. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to need to get an insert here. So what this is going to do is, like, whenever we walk over this key, it's going to insert itself into the array. Okay, so we're going to do insert here, and then we're going to need to get something off of this character. So I'm going to type in key list. There we go. We're going to get key list. That's what we want. I'm going to hook it into this spot right there. That'll make it happy. It all lights up. And whenever we walk over this one, we want to give this a value. Now, we can set it right here at 0, but probably an easier thing to do would be to go over here, and we need to make a key value. Okay, and this needs to be an integer. It's not a Boolean or anything like that. We just need it to be a number we can use, and it needs to be instance editable, so we can set it out in the editor. And we'll just leave it as key value. We'll just leave that right there. Now, one thing about, and I'm going to jump backwards here real quick, so just bear with me. This is me remembering something right off the top of my head. Now, back here in your character, when we made this array, I don't think I went over this, okay? And let me kind of talk about that right now. After you make this variable and you hit compile, you'll be able to see the default value right here. Now, initially, it's not going to have this setup here like I just had. I just trashed that. Just hit the plus, and you'll get, you can actually add in as many keys as you want. You can have a ton of keys in here. But I'm not really needing that many keys, so I'm just going to go in here and add 1, and this is going to be key list, and it counts just like you do, like we always have in computer science. We start off at 0, and this is going to get checked whenever we walk over this, right? So this is what this check right here is doing. It's saying, like, hey, we picked this thing up. It is value 0 right here, so it's going to go into the character, and it's going to check this in the array. Okay, so let's keep on building this out now. Let's see, we need the key card value. We're going to get that value, and the reason this is helpful is because if you wanted to make several different keys, then you can just change this value in the editor. Otherwise, you could just go in here and type in the key value that you want, but this might make things easier as you just spread keys around and things like that. Okay. Now the next thing to do is, well, after we pick this up, I mean, we're kind of done, so we could just leave it there. But I think even better would be just to destroy the actor after we're done with it. Let's destroy actor. There we go. And that's going to make it disappear after we pick it up. Okay, so that should work. In fact, we can try this out now. I'm going to go ahead and bring this BP door key in, and let's hit play. I'm going to spin around here. Oh, hey, look, it's spinning, and when we walk over it, it disappears. Okay, so far, everything's looking pretty good. All right, the next thing we need to do is make a door. Okay, now we've already built some doors, so I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to grab this one right here, duplicate it, BP, and I'm going to call this key door. Okay. And the key door has all the basic stuff that we need. Has our hinge door right there. I'm going to change this into something a little bit different just so we have a little different look to it. See if I can get something orange maybe. No, not really. Okay. Black, I suppose. No? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at, I need to be down here. I'm silly. Okay. Let's see, orange, anything? I don't really want it to be that see-through, but it'd be kind of interesting. It's red. Okay, a bright red door. Why not? Okay, so we have a bright red door that we're going to work with here. Oh, but it's a green key, right? I'm silly. I don't know. Okay, let's make it green. That makes more sense. All right, let's go back into our event graph. let's find what we need here. Now in this, we are going to need a key value as well. So let's do our variables first. We need to know what key this is associated with. So we'll do key value here as well. Kind of keep things straight. This is an integer. Okay. And we need to make that instance editable. Okay. And let's see, the next thing we're going to want to do is we have to change this up a little bit. So what I want to have happen is the door, when you walk up to it, if you have the key, then it will open. And if you don't have the key, then it just stays still. So in this instance, I also just want the door to stay open. Okay, so you use the key, leave the door open. I'm not going to need this. I don't need this part where we walk away from the door. Okay. All right, so we have everything pretty much that we need here. This is going to work, but we need the part where it checks to see did the player pick up the key. All right, so we're going to need a little space in between here. I'm going to go ahead and grab these pieces. Actually, I'm just going to disconnect it completely. Grab these pieces, move them off to the side just a little bit, because this is where most of the code is going to kick in. Okay, so just like before, where we casted to our character and we inserted something into the array on the character, now we're going to pull something out of that character. Okay, so what we're going to do after the cast is we're going to pull the key list. We're going to check that array. Same thing. Actually, you know what? I'm crazy here. As we pull that off, we're going to need key list. Okay. Oh, I'm looking at the FP simple character. I'm a goofus, and that might happen to you guys too, so just be careful on that. Cast to BP underscore my character. There we go. Make sure you hook that actor back up so it knows what it's looking at. Now I have a feeling I'm going to get what I want. There we go. Get key list. Okay. Now this time we have to run through, like there would possibly be multiple values that you have in your array. So to do that, we need to use something that you guys have not probably seen since maybe Comp Sci 1 yet, and that is a for each loop. Okay, and a for loop and a for each loop, that's just kind of the same thing. Okay, so let's take a look at that for each loop real quick. If you double click on this, it'll open it up, and you can see they built a for each loop with nodes here, and essentially what it's saying is it pulls in the value for the array, the index, and it checks to see, is there a check, is there a Boolean check there with that, and then it also can say like, okay, well this index matches the Boolean attribute is true. That means that we found the one we're looking for because the key index matches with the true statement there. So what that means is we're checking the key list. Okay, hold on. Okay, I have to put a funny sound effect over that. Couldn't help it. It's going to check our key list as it brings it into the array, and it's going to run through that array. Now, in our case, we only have one, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But it's going to check that array, and it's going to say, like, is this correct? Do we already have this key? Does that index have a check next to it? Does that here, let me go in here, and I can just show you what I mean. This right here is our index. I'm in my character right now. And every time I add these in, this is basically the index. But we're using the index as our key. Okay, so I'm just going to kill that, and then we'll just build it one more time. There we go. And I'm going to go back in here. This is basically a macro. I'm going to show you guys how to do this a little bit later. And for us, we just need to know that the for each loop, how it works, so we know how to use it. And that's basically it. It just reads in a value, checks to see did we have it, which is the index, checks to see if it's been picked up, which it'll check mark as true on our character array, and then we'll be able to find it over here. So from here, what we have to do is we need to check a few things. So first off, we need to check the array index. So we're going to check the key value. Okay, now this is the one that we have for the door. And then we're going to check and see if it equals the ones that we already have. Like we're going to check and see, does this array index match anything we already have? If it's for some reason we put in 3 and we don't have a 3 in the index, then that could cause us a problem. And we want to make sure those equal each other. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use an AND. Okay, so this means this other condition has to be met as well. Okay, so AND is the array element, is that element true? Okay, so we're actually checking, if we go back in here, we're checking to see that this checkbox right here has been checked. Have we picked it up? Okay, So we're going to go back into our key door. All right. And from here, we're going to go into a branch. So the branch is letting us do something here where when we get to this point, we want to make sure that we have the right index, we have that index checked, and if all of that's true, then what we want to do is swing open our door. Okay? And this is going to happen as soon as we walk up on the door. Okay, so we have everything else here pretty normal. I'm going to zoom out here a little bit so you can see this is all the code for the door. And I believe everything should work here at this point. Let's check it out. We're going to have to drop this door into our space. All right, where did it go? I don't think I dropped it in for some reason. There we go. Spin it around here. I don't know if I'm approaching the right side or not. There we go. Let's check it out. All right, so there's our green door. There's our green key. Now let's see. Can I go into it? No, it won't let me get in there. I can't open it up. Let's try our key. Bam, got the key. Let's go into our trigger. Hey, it opens and it stays open because that's what I wanted. Now, if you wanted to be able to have that close after you walked up there, then you just need to make sure you tie that same information into your end overlap. But really, it shouldn't be too difficult for you guys to fix up. And otherwise, you have your door ready to go. I made another one over here. See if you guys can figure out how to do this. Oh, you might notice a little sound there when I picked that up. And then, oh yeah, that's right. You need something scary happen whenever you walk through the door. So let's go ahead and try this out. Check your assignment, and let's make our first key door.